There is tons of fear and confusion surrounding the coronavirus called COVID-19, and it doesn't help that some elements of the media are firing information many consider fear-mongering. Even a recent list-verse article might be considered intrinsically. But fear is the last item anyone wants to spread, since even a worldwide pandemic doesn't mean it's the top of the planet as we all know it. The information on the virus is restricted at the instant, as there all got to be an excellent deal of study before it's fully understood. Within the meantime, information is power. So this list contains 10 belongings you should realize COVID-19 and the way best to guard yourself from misconceptions, misunderstandings, and outright media lies about it. This information is simply the tip of the iceberg, so continue so far on outbreaks in your area from official sources, and everything should be fine. COVID-19 may be a coronavirus, which suggests little or no to most of the people who don't have virology or immunology. A coronavirus may be a group of viruses which will infect mammals and birds. In humans, they will cause tract infections, many of which may be treated with over-the-counter medication. The virus itself also features a name, but it's a touch of a mouthful: severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, or SARS-CoV-2. A part of that acronym could also be familiar, seeing because the world already went through an identical outbreak of SARS in 2003. COVID-19 may be a coronavirus, and it's spreading, but that's not a cause for alarm. Rather, it's a cause to organize and protect ourselves in much an equivalent way we do when it's cold and flu season. It's documented that the virus was first seen in Wuhan, China, but it's not fully understood exactly where it originated. COVID-19 is probably going a zoonotic virus, which suggests it are often transmitted between animals and other people. This has led researchers to seem for animals which may have originally carried the disease. It was initially believed that bats were the source of the outbreak, which was pinpointed to the Wuhan seafood market, where exotic animals are sold. As time went on, and more research was conducted, Chinese researchers were ready to determine that COVID-19 shared 99% of an equivalent genetic information as an identical virus that infects pangolins. Since the primary day the planet learned about the Wuhan coronavirus, the fear of it spreading began to rise. How was it transmitted, and what might be done to limit its transmission? COVID-19 causes a respiratory tract infection, and it's through a person's respiration that it spreads the simplest. There are two known means by which the virus spreads: person to person and through contact with infected surfaces. In a person-to-person situation, the virus are often spread through close contact, which is usually considered to be a distance of 6 feet. The other way it's spread is through a surface contaminated with the virus. One of the most important issues with detecting COVID-19 during a patient is that it presents very similar to the cold. To combat this, researchers across the world are scrambling to return up with how to check for the presence of the virus, and this has resulted in several different testing methods. One among the simplest ways to ascertain for the virus isn't to see if you'll find the virus in a person's body, it's to seek out the antibodies the body produces to fight the infection. Antibody tests are probably the fastest and easiest method of detecting the presence of COVID-19. There is no known immunity to COVID-19, which suggests that everybody is in danger of catching and spreading the infection. When a healthy adult contracts the virus, there's an opportunity that they're going to not show any symptoms in the least, and won't get sick. This is often one among the explanations the virus has managed to flee the confines of Wuhan, China, to infect the planet. Infected people that are asymptomatic become unknown carriers. And even when an otherwise healthy adult does show symptoms, they're often mild and comparative to the cold. The death rate for COVID-19 is estimated to be 2.3%, and while that number could seem low, it's not. If you compare the death rate of COVID-19 to something more common just like the flu, it's considerably higher. The flu features a death rate of 0.1%, which sees a mean of 1 death per 1,000 people. These numbers are determined via the case fatality rate, CFR, which compares the entire number of infected patients with those that succumbed from the disease. While COVID-19 is far above the flu, it presents as a light infection within the overwhelming majority of individuals who have had it. Because COVID-19 may be a coronavirus, which is passed in much an equivalent way as a standard cold, the simplest thanks to keep from getting it is to scrub your hands with soap and warm water. Avoid touching your face after coming into contact with anything commonly used like doorknobs, and if you've got to travel outside, attempt to avoid sick people. If you've got concerns about completing during a place with tons of probably infected people, you'll avoid traveling and getting to events with crowds, but which will not be necessary. One of the explanations there are numerous conspiracy theories about viruses like COVID-19 is that few people truly know it. The virus does have an HIV-like mutation. But that doesn't mean someone weaponized a sort of HIV during a lab somewhere and released it upon the planet, as some conspiracy theories have stated. These same mechanisms appear in many diseases because the result of natural mutations. That remark has everything to try to with the means of fighting the spread of infection, and research like this helps push further research, which could hopefully cause a cure or vaccine. Panicking doesn't assist you or your loved ones, so you would like to require care of yourself, confirm greater than to make sure you don't spread the infection and make sure you get the right care. If you develop a fever alongside symptoms of respiratory disease, you ought to call your healthcare provider and invite their advice. They're going to know the proper inquiries to ask to assist determine if you've got the cold, or if you've got something more serious.